So in this video, I'm going to go over all of the elite monster affixes in Diablo 4. If you want to see more like this, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, comment, subscribe, save favorite. Alright, anyways. So I'm going to go through from starting with the most dangerous. I'll give them all a score out of 10. And then I'll also explain a little bit about them and what you can do to outplay these things. Fire Enchanted, one of the most dangerous affix types in the game on elites. Danger score 10 out of 10. Every 3 seconds, the mob will fire 3 fireballs out of it, and then on death, they'll summon 3 more sets of fireballs out of it for 9 total. And then it also has a final explosion 3 seconds after death as well. This will kill you. You stack a few of these together in a pack, you're getting exploded on death for massive damage. How to outplay this? Don't be melee. Stay out of melee range. That's the danger zone. Waller. Danger 7 out of 10. The elite summons a wall around the player shaped like a U. Some parts of the wall may be able to be broken, but do not rely on this. Sometimes you can get completely stuck depending on the terrain around you. This can be very dangerous if you're walled in a bad spot with a large monster pack. Like say there's a ton of monsters at the start of the wall. They're all just wailing on you. I've had this happen to me once. It's not good. Has a duration of 7 seconds. Cooldown of 12 seconds. How to outplay? Get out of the wall as quickly as possible. Ideally running through the open end. If you have just like a movement ability, you can just dash to the end. Or finding the destructible part of the wall if all else fails. If you can't do that, well then you need to buckle up and try and get out of there somehow. Suppressor. Danger 7 out of 10. The elite is immune to any damage outside of the circle that surrounds it. As you can see, it's this blue circle. The affix is kind of janky. I don't think I captured it in the video here. But sometimes, even if you're in the circle, they're still immune to your damage. I'm not really sure the interaction there. At first, I thought it was maybe if you start cycloning out. Since I'm playing Whirlwind, maybe you start whirlwinding outside of the circle and it snapshots outside, and when you get in, you're still immune. But they didn't pick that up in this video. It didn't happen. But after recording the video, I did have it happen a few times, so I'm not really sure what causes it. These can be very dangerous if there's multiple suppressors all surrounding each other. That's the main danger, because if they're not all on top of each other, they'll be spreading their immune to everything, and it can become very annoying. So duration is permanent. Outplay it by staying in the suppressor circle to be able to deal damage. And if multiple suppressors are in the area, try and stack them all up on top of each other so you can get them all at once. Multi-shot. Danger 5 out of 10. 3 projectiles from the enemy are shot instead of just shooting 1. May be dangerous with certain mob types shotgunning you with all projectiles, but I have not encountered that yet. So I'm giving it a sort of guessing score of 5 out of 10. I have not had any issues, but usually stuff like this can get out of hand really quickly, so just be aware of it. To avoid it, or how to outplay it, you just avoid standing right in front of the elite and getting shotgunned. Plaguebearer. Danger 5 out of 10. The elite spawns a circle of poison on death that will explode after 3 seconds, dealing damage to the player. This can be bad if it's in a group of things and you can't see the on-death effect, or if there's a large pack of these and they all summon this on-death effect and you get blown up. On-death effects are very dangerous. Has a duration of 3 seconds before it explodes. How to outplay. Move away after killing the elite. Teleporter. Danger 4 out of 10. The elite teleports onto the player, dealing damage in AoE. At low HP, the elite may also teleport away from the player, as seen here in the video in a few seconds. This can be dangerous depending on the monster type. If there's a pack of them and they all teleport on top of you and instantly delete you if they're particularly powerful and have a bad set of affixes. Cooldown of 8 seconds, and outplaying this, you don't. Tempest. Danger 4 out of 10. The elite will spawn ice pillars that will pull you towards them after 1 second. Notice they don't really target very well, so it's pretty hard to get hit by these. However, if they pull you into a giant group of monsters, that could be pretty bad. Has a cooldown of 13 seconds, and you can outplay him by, well, not standing in front of the pillars like that. Damage resistance. Danger 4 out of 10. The elite, well, technically it's considered a champion, I presume, so it doesn't get a bunch of other dangerous affixes put on it. Grants large damage resistance to all its nearby allies. These monsters glow purple and do not have as much HP as normal elites, so they're really noticeable and easy to take out. For this reason, they're not that dangerous. However, if you don't notice them, or you cannot reach it easily and your build doesn't have big AoE or something, it can get pretty dangerous, making everything drastically more tanky. How to outplay it? Just make sure you target it ASAP. Cold Enchanted. Danger score 4 out of 10. So essentially it just gives the elite cold damage and makes them chill on hit. Now it could be a little bit more dangerous than what I'd describe as a 4 out of 10, depending on your playstyle and the build you're playing. If a pack has lots of attack speed and you're not doing much damage to them, there's really no way to avoid this, and they can just keep slapping you and just CC lock you forever. That could up the danger a little bit, so beware of that. How to outplay? Really, the only thing you can do is get unstoppable somehow for CC immunity, or don't get hit. Explosive. Danger 4 out of 10. Summons 2 damageable fire orbs with a very large radius, as you can see, that deals fire damage on detonation. Now, these can get hidden pretty easily, or if your build has bad AoE and can't clear it in a big monster pack, they can become even more dangerous since you won't be able to clear them. Now, you outplay them well by clearing them or standing out of the blast radius. 4-second duration with a 15-second cooldown. Lightning Enchanted, danger 3 out of 10. Upon hitting the elite, 3 lightning orbs are released, and the player is also hit with an arc of lightning. Now these lightning orbs that you can see, I believe, can shotgun you, so if you're getting right in front of it, it's probably not a good idea if you're actually taking damage from it, which I never really did, but let's say you do, you probably want to stay away. Basically, don't be melee. Yeah. Not that dangerous overall. Maybe if you're in a really tight space and you got hit by a bunch of the lightning orbs all at once, might be bad. How to outplay? Well, yeah, just don't stand right in front of it and get shotgunned, but it's pretty weak. The Frozen Affix, danger score 3 out of 10, summons freeze bombs that chill players in the radius and then explode after 3 seconds, freezing the player and dealing cold damage. The bombs have a cooldown of 8 seconds, so after the elite casts it, you have 8 seconds till it casts again. These can become dangerous if there's a lot of other ground effects occurring and maybe you can't see them or it's under a ton of mobs. How to outplay? Don't stand in the bombs. Poison Enchanted, danger 3 out of 10. Upon getting hit by elite, a pool of poison will spawn under the player, dealing damage over time while you stand in it. And upon death, the elite will also leave another poison pool. The duration of the poison pools are 10 seconds. How to outplay? Move away after being hit so you're not standing in the puddle, and when you kill the elite, for the puddle, it spawns around it. Summoner, danger 3 out of 10. The elite summons 2 familiars as the same type of it, aka a fallen monster like this will summon fallen mob types. See, it summons a fallen, just regular one, and a fallen lunatic. This can be dangerous if it summons exploding enemies, as you can see in the video here, as exploding enemies tend to do lots of damage in this game. But they're generally squishy monsters that summon, so they'll probably just die as you clear anyways, and if they don't, just try and keep a lookout for the exploding ones and then try and target those. The minions have a infinite duration. They will only disappear when you kill them, and they have a cooldown of 20 seconds before the elite summons more. So outplay it just by paying attention to exploding monsters and target them if they spawn. However, you won't really need to do that as they're pretty squishy. Terrifying. Danger 3 out of 10. It summons 2 circles on the ground that will detonate after 2 seconds, fearing the player for 2 seconds as well. Now this will usually have you run away from the monster actually, so it's not too bad unless you get stuck on a wall, and then it could be pretty bad. How to outplay. Don't stand on the circles or use an ability to gain unstoppable if you are feared, so that way it will remove the fear. Shock Lance, danger 2 out of 10. Summons a beam of lightning that slowly spins and deals damage on contact. Now, it's pretty easy to avoid these. As you can see, they're very slow, and honestly, I haven't felt them doing much damage either while playing, though they could be dangerous if they all stack on top of each other in a tight space and you get hit by multiple at one time. They have a duration of 15 seconds and a cooldown of 5 seconds before the elite spawns more. Outplay it by staying away from ones that spawn on top of each other. And yeah. Vampiric, danger 2 out of 10. The elite leeches life on hit. The only situation this is really dangerous is when a very strong mob that does particularly a lot of damage keeps healing itself off you and you can't really kill it, or it takes a while. Outplaying this? Well, you don't really. It's just on hit. Mortar, danger 2 out of 10. Fires 3 fireballs that land on the ground after 3 seconds, dealing damage to the player. This can be dangerous if it's stacked with a lot of other ground effects and maybe you don't notice it. There's a lot going on. But generally these are really easy to avoid and they don't do that much damage. Duration of 3 seconds to hit the ground, and then cooldown of 3 seconds before he will fire more. Shadow Enchanted, danger 1 out of 10. The elite summons a clone of itself and it only lasts for 4 seconds, and I've only ever seen it get 1 attack off. It really doesn't do much. I've had 0 issues with it. 0 even noticing it. This is probably one of the least dangerous affixes in the game. Outplaying it, there's really not much to do. It's just like another monster. Don't get hit by it, blah blah blah, or do, because it doesn't really do much damage either. HELLBOUND, danger 1 out of 10. It's not dangerous at all. Summons a statue that chains players to the statue, and then that stops the player from moving past a certain radius around the statue. It also slows the player, and technically it pulls you very slowly towards the center, though it doesn't really ever come into play. The statue is very low HP and is never really dangerous. How to outplay? Well, just target the statue and destroy it. Has a duration of 6 seconds, and it has a cooldown of 15 seconds. The Chilling Wind affix. Give it a danger score 1 out of 10. All it does is spawn a wind wall that chills any players that it will touch, as well as freezing them if they get repeatedly chilled. Projectiles that travel through the wall are also slowed, so this could pose issues if you are projectile build. However, it's really simple to not get killed by this. Just don't walk in the wind. It doesn't freeze you instantly. You can just use your evade skill by pressing space or just walk out of it. Basically, don't stand in the wind. Very simple. Electric Obelisk, danger 1 out of 10. Summons totems that chain lightning between each other, dealing lightning damage to the player on hit. Now, it's pretty small, so unless you're in a tight area, it's pretty easy to avoid. However, in a tight area, this mod could get pretty dangerous if you're happening to be hit by all of them at once. How to outplay? Well, don't stand in the middle of all the totems, and if you see a totem, probably try and avoid being in a tight space.